Good evening. Well, I am not walking the trail today because it's dark outside. We've been through this before. And I suppose the good news is I've been busy with my cases, and the bad news is that I'm busy with my cases. I hope tomorrow to be out in the full air and to enjoy it. And I have to confess, it is pretty cold out there right now, but we dress warmly. There are several things that in this stand and talk, I suppose it is, that I'd like to draw your attention to. One is the railway freight strike uh, set for the 9th of December. And Congress has decided to intervene and not let the collective bargaining work its way. And in part, the intervention of the president, Biden, because he thinks what should be the final result, he's thrown the weight of the White House and the Congress against the 12 unions that are involved, 4 of which feel very strongly that they're not getting paid leave when they're sick. And this is a significant thing for railway workers. And the Maintenance of Way Workers president is particularly concerned about it, and the unions would stand with them. Now, I haven't heard public statements on what the unions intend to do, but the Congress is hell-bent on telling them what the agreement is, rather than letting them bargain and agree to it or not. Obviously, the pressure of a strike is one of the things that enables a union to get what it is they need and perhaps deserve. And in this case, fair compensation is really the issue. And we've had some Democrats speak on behalf of it. And I think the Democratic Party has an identity crisis right now, because here we have a chance to help the workers and we're not prepared to do it. What is wrong with that? Everything, in my opinion. There have been speakers in both houses who have been concerned to do better about this, but it looks like there's going to be the passage of a bill that's going to be an imposition, an interposition, if you will, of what union wanted and needs. Other stories, there's a happier stories. Jeffries has been elected the leader of the minority Democrats in the House, and I think that he has great promise. And I got to meet him on a number of occasions, particularly when I was in green rooms, which are never green, waiting to go on to discuss the first impeachment of Trump. And I did appear with him at a thing that MSNBC had pulled together by Ari Melber, which was a lot of professional fun, and it was a lot of good to talk about it. So I'm hoping that Jeffries will inherit in his own style a manner of leadership that carries on the best traditions of what Nancy did. The CDC has done something that's kind of interesting to me, and I think it's quite noteworthy, that they're concerned about polio, and they're concerned about it being found in the wastewater. And so they're focusing on Philadelphia and Detroit. That is quite distressing, I think. And finally, an old issue of mine that I don't think we focus on sufficiently. That is, Garland is heralding how anybody involved in what happened on January the 6th will be brought to justice. Well, that's all fine and good, but do it. Don't talk about it. The man is just so full of hot air. Drives me crazy. Any one-year prosecutor could probably put together one of these cases. I always think of the Georgia case, which has a tape recording by the president, basically describing the entire crime that he's out there to commit. My feeling these days is we have a lot of issues and we don't have the discipline to deal with them. Somehow there should be a thrust that runs through our public life that recognizes what is the standard that we seek to identify ourselves with, and then find the means to actually do that. I don't feel that we do that. And I don't know how we get back to it if our leaders do not provide the example to the nation as to how to do it. Jeffries is a very distinguished man. Nancy Pelosi was as well. I think they did find ways in important episodes of leadership to lead the nation. But everybody seems to kick the can down the road. Nobody wants to deal with the problems that we have now, whether it be collective bargaining, whether it be our health, whether it be making those who violated our laws be held accountable for what they did. We talk about the anti-Semitism of Trump. We don't do anything about that. And we talk about the insurrection, but we're not getting at the main players. The corruption I see in the months and years ahead that we must guard against are presenting some lesser beings in this major conspiracy as sufficient for the accounting. Nothing less than Trump is sufficient for the accounting for an effort to overthrow our democratic form of government and install instead an autocracy. So I want to thank you for listening to this evening passage of my thinking of the changes of the day. And I will continue to do this, and I might try to do it in the night carrying a light with me. And anyhow, good to talk to you. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.